Hey guys, I am back after what? A couple weeks off, I think, for whatever reason. I'm doing week 5 Project Life, and this is the last week that I'm going to use the Jill kit from Felicity Jane before I move on to the Lindsay kit, which I'm super excited about. So I'm starting with this photo that I took. I think I was on my way to work one morning, and the sky just looked gorgeous. So I decided to use that one for my title card. So I'm just going to take one of the labels that came in the Jill kit, and I'm going to stamp my dates out. And I put them over to the right because I'm going to layer that teeny tiny tag on top of that after I stick it down onto the photo. Yes, I don't know why. We've just been busy, you guys. The kids were sick. My daughter had a birthday. And then my husband was sick. So it's been a rough last few weeks. But I do have another video that's filmed already. I need to kind of get that one together for you guys as well. Hopefully I can get that posted either this weekend or next week sometime. I just need to record the voiceover. But I do need to catch up, and I need to get back downstairs into my craft room because I have the itch. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm using the Puffy Alpha stickers that came in the Jill kit as well to just spell out week 5. And I decided to spell out 5 because really it's only using 2 letter stickers that I would say I use pretty frequently, an I and an E. So it was a good way to finally use an F and a V, which doesn't happen all that often. But see, now sadly, I'm out of E's. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to struggle with the placement just a little bit, and then I decide that I do like it up there in the right hand corner. So I'm going to go ahead and commit and stick those down. I struggled a little bit with this layout because I don't have a whole lot of the Jill kit left over. So I know a lot of people feel stressed out or a little bit intimidated when they open up a new, whether it be a new kit or when they get a collection, because they don't want to use their favorite things right off the bat. But I actually kind of prefer to have the full kit of items. It's just easier. My goodness. It's easier for me when I have a ton of stuff to use versus hardly anything at all. I don't know why. So the little dot for the I was giving me some trouble, but it is down on the title card now, and I was going to overhang it more than I end up, but I like the way that it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and stick down that label, and if you notice, I remembered to use my StazOn ink. Hooray me. I keep talking about, oh, I got to remember on the die cuts. They're kind of slick. I need to use StazOn. I did. I'm so proud of myself. So then I'm just going to, just for a little bit of interest, I'm going to put some white embroidery floss through that tiny floral tag before I go ahead and stick it down. I love the Jill kit, and I'm not really mentally ready to be done with it because the colors are gorgeous. I love the muted colors that were in that kit for January. And I have a ton of the papers left, like a ton. I meant to sit down and do some 12 by 12 layouts with it, but I just didn't I just didn't make it. But that's okay because I still have the leftovers. And because it's Felicity Jane, the papers will coordinate with future kits as well. And maybe with kits of stuff that I've purchased in their like Black Friday sale and the moving sale and all that stuff. So I stuck that down and I was just kind of pointing to that card. I'm going to add some journaling there, but I've got to type it up on my computer and get it printed out so that I can put it on there. So since these two cards are going into a 4x6 pocket, I just use some washi tape on the back to stick them together. And I think this is the photo. I'm trying to remember. Let me flip it back over. Yeah, that's it. So it was the cutest thing. And actually that title card was a picture that I took. I had to travel for work this week. And it was a pretty sunset outside of the facility when I was leaving one day. But the day before I left to go on the work trip, my daughter decided to make me a bunch of stuff. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. She made me a bed and a picture of her and all these cute little things that I just fell in love with. And the cutest thing was she made me a $1 million bill because she thought that if she gave me $1 million, I would not have to go out of town that week. She is just stinking adorable. So I decided to take a picture of the different items that she made for me to take on my work trip and document that. And then the journaling that goes on the left-hand card just kind of talks about the stuff that she had made and what it was for and all that stuff. And it was really cute because she made me show her that I actually took all those pieces of paper of the stuff that she drew and I put it inside of my suitcase. And then I'm moving on to this picture of my youngest daughter. It actually warmed up enough. And when I say that, I think it got up to 55 or 60 degrees this one day. It was like the one day during the whole entire winter, which is sort of unusual. But it warmed up enough to take the kids over to the playground at the school next door. So that's what we did. And then I decided not to add anything to it because between all the other cards and pictures I had going on, there just seemed to be too much going on. So I decided to leave it as it was with just the photo. And then I took this picture, don't tell anybody, while I was driving down for my work trip because the clouds in the sky were just like amazing. It was the coolest looking sky I've seen in a while. So I snapped a photo safely while I was driving. That's just an oxymoron all in itself, I know. And then I stuck down this floral from the die cuts. And I'm just going through my Tim Holtz Tiny Word stickers. I think this is no, I can't remember. It's not small chat because those are, or maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just looking for some phrases that I can stick down on there, and I forget because this was a few weeks ago now what the phrase stickers say. But I'm just going to stick those down, and that one I believe will be done. Yep. So moving right along, I've got this 3x4 card that's a pink and white floral, and I'm just going to make like a filler card. I did journaling on one of the other 3x4 cards, so I don't really have a whole lot else to say. So I'm going to use that heart border acetate piece from the gel kit. I'm only going to use about half of it. And I'm going to stick it down by putting some tape on the back of this tiny floral tag. and I'm going to stick it to that acetate, and then I'm just going to stick some more tape on the acetate, and that's the only way that it's going to be adhered down. And then I'm going to use, I think that's, yeah, that's the Jill stamp set. There is a circle stamp in there that I believe says focus on the good. So I'm going to just tuck it in and make sort of a cluster with those 3 pieces. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't stamped it yet, that it was going to be nice and solid. And it was. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down right about where I want it. Then I'm going to stick that tag and acetate border right on top. Excuse me, you guys. And that one is going to be done. I'm going to keep it simple. I don't have a whole lot left of this kit, so I'm trying to just use what I got and love it. So I'm also going to use this, I think it's a pink and white polka dot tag. And I'm going to stick some embroidery floss in there as well. I just kind of doubled up the thickness of it to make it a little bit more substantial. And then this is going to be another place for just a little bit of journaling. So I'll put that aside until I've printed out my journaling. So when I got home from my work trip, I was super disappointed. Sometimes when I'm away for work, we do a good job with keeping in touch in the evenings, and I get to talk to the girls and all that stuff. And sometimes they just seem a little bit too busy and don't have a whole lot of time, or there's too much going on. When you've got little kids, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes they just require some extra attention at night than other days. So some trips when I go, I don't hardly get to talk to them on the phone because there's just so much going on. So I was super disappointed that when I got home, my daughter had lost her other front tooth, and I didn't know about it until I picked her up from school. So I took a picture of that. And then I've got, I think my last photo here is that day that I took the girls to the park, that it actually warmed up sort of outside. So I just stamped down a sentiment on that tiny, tiny tag. And then I'm going to layer on that chipboard flare that came in the chipboard with the gel kit that says goals. I just took a picture of my girls doing the monkey bars. So now I have printed out my journaling, and I'm just going to start cutting it down into strips. I could have probably cut this out. I don't know why I'm making you guys watch this. So this is the journaling for that first card, where I'm talking about all those different items that my daughter made me before I went out on the business trip. So I'm just going to cut those down, and then I will adhere them to that gray and white polka dot card. And I decided to use my Nuvo glue. Yeah, so my next video, I use the Lindsay kit for the first time. I love the Lindsay kit, but I gotta tell you guys, and this is probably gonna be how I feel every single month. I already have, because we're in the middle of March now, I already have the, oh my God. What is it? It's the March Felicity Jane kit. Jamie? Yeah, I think it's Jamie. I've got the Jamie kit already, and it is like just purely gorgeous, and I am so, so excited to have the chance to use that. That's like what I can think about right now. I'm like over, because I've waited so long to do my Project Life spreads, I'm like over Valentine's Day, and I am so ready for spring. So I am ready to use that Jamie kit. I don't know what my problem is. But I am going to use the Lindsay kit to finish out my February spreads, which obviously I have a ton of. I have probably 4 of them to do before I can start dipping into my Lindsay kit. So I'm just going to use my, what is it, inverted reverse tweezers, and I'm going to adhere down all of those little tiny word strips. The Nuvo glue did pretty good. I just printed on regular typing paper. I normally will print off on like a lightweight cardstock, but for whatever reason, I decided to just print on regular typing paper. I think because maybe it'll cut down on bulk. I don't know. I've got silly reasons for doing things sometimes that probably make no difference in the end, I'm sure. So that one is done now, and then I've also got just a few lines of journaling about the fact that she had lost her other front tooth while I was gone out of town, that I want to stick down on top of that pink tag. So I'm getting smarter this time, and I am separating out the word stickers from the trash that I've sliced off. And it got really difficult. I need to remember to leave a little bit more paper at the bottom than I did. It was a little bit challenging to try to stick that little tiny piece of paper in there to get the cuts. So I am just going to cut those down and adhere them as well. I had so much fun using the gel kit. I really used up a fair bit of it. I probably still have enough supplies to do, depending on how I do the layouts, 1, 2, probably 2 12 by 12 layouts, I betcha. I would betcha. So who knows? I might grab that stuff back out and do a layout or 2, or maybe I will just put it in my stash like I do most of the time. And then I'll start making a dent in my Lindsay kit. So I'm just going to finish sticking these down. And then I believe that the layout is done. Oh, I think I grab a couple of black puffy hearts to put there at the bottom just to kind of fill in some of that space and to add a little bit of something extra. Yep, so I'm going to add that last. Oh no, it wasn't on there. I think I get out my Illustrated Faith puffy hearts and I stick one of those guys down along with one of the super tiny ones from that Felicity Jane sheet that I have. The shape is not exactly identical, but I'm okay with that. It added just a little bit. So now that is done. So that's my completed week 5 spread for 2019. Yeah. I like the way it turned out. It's kind of busy, but I like it. So anyways, thanks for watching today, guys, and I'll be back with week 6 soon. Bye.